I'm feeling really excited. I'm feeling really excited. Yeah, I mean, this has happened quite fast. Today it's happening quite fast. But look, I love and admire Radio New Zealand. I listen to Radio New Zealand. When I've been in New Zealand, I would say I've listened to Radio New Zealand every day of my life. I grew up in a Radio New Zealand household. I grew up with Morning Report. I started my journalism career at Radio New Zealand in 1989. In Tiger House in what was then the 2ZB newsroom, filing Wellington stories for... The pinnacle of excitement was to get a story out of Morning Report. I remember my first breakthrough story was a story about the Upper Hutt City Council and a very tense debate about whether the Welcome to Upper Hutt sign at the top of the rimatakas should be in tin, metal, because it reflected the cosmopolitan, modern face of Upper Hutt, or wood, because it reflected the clean green face of Upper Hutt.
What actually happened?
I can't remember. They went into a subcommittee, I think, obviously, as you do. But anyway, and the police calls, doing that stuff. And Radio New Zealand is so critical and vital and important to the life of this country. First of all, it's a public broadcaster with all the responsibilities attached to that. Secondly, it's rigorous, and I think it constantly proves that it shows neither fear nor favour. Thirdly, it employs and has employed, many of the greatest broadcasters in this country's history, and household names, and wonderful characters. I mean, I remember working with Sharon Crosby as a junior reporter. She was extraordinarily intimidating and funny and brilliant. And
didn't she tell you off for making eyes at her?
Yes, she did, on air, live on air. She said, "Don't you make eyes." No, she said, "Don't you look at me with your bedroom eyes, boy." I was,
Did you think you had bedroom eyes? Did you actually have them?
No, I didn't even really know what she was talking about. I was completely taken aback. Is she fantastic? And so, I mean, it's wonderful to be part of. It's wonderful to be part of it. I want to take journalism seriously. And I feel like after everything that's happened in the past few months, that there is an obligation to do that. I feel that the people who have been the kindest and the warmest and the most beautifully generous in their support believe in something, and I feel that really strongly, probably more strongly than I've ever felt it before in my career. I mean, I've always done journalism because I loved it, and there's been sometimes a quality of, I mean, I'm going to swear on Radio New Zealand, so I apologise unreservedly, but sometimes I've been a bit rip, shit and bust. You just get in there and go for it, and now I think actually this is important and this matters, and we must take it seriously. Not so seriously that we drive people away, but there is an obligation, I think, to make journalism that matters. Well, we're starting from scratch, right? So we're going to reinvent this program after the formidable work done by Mary and the Checkpoint team. When I first started Radio New Zealand in 1989, I was in that Wellington newsroom. Mary Wilson was there, and she's remarkable. And so we're not going to try and imitate that or replicate that or take over from that, because the Checkpoint and Mary have done such a stunning job. What we're going to do is kind of start from scratch and build a team and make radio that also tries to transcend, the old-fashioned wireless and says, okay, this is another way we can speak to people. Radio New Zealand is something that we should be proud of. It's a national treasure, and we need more people to listen to it. I feel really strongly about that. More people should listen to it because it's good. So we're going to work on that, but we're not going to abandon any principles. We're not going to insult people. We're not going to aim low. We're not going to be condescending. So it's about retaining the core audience and their faith and trust in us, and building something that will connect with people who maybe don't know about Radio New Zealand yet. So that's what we're going to do. A
big legacy.
Yeah, a really big legacy. A proud and wonderful legacy. What will I find most challenging? Not speaking too fast. Not swearing on air. I don't know. It's just living up to my sense of what Radio New Zealand deserves, the audience deserves, and what I hope to be able to do.